The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Let's ride.
There you go. I'm telling you, Russell gonna come out, dude, man. He gonna come, man.
First place.
First
place.
What they
Broncos in first place.
5 points a game.
His fantasy stats have me in last place.
You have some rough years in fantasy, man.
But
ever since them 2 titles, man. I ain't heard much from it.
Since they had to come steal the trophy from his house, he had sitting in the back there, Kobe. Yeah.
Be like Jerry Stevens. Be like Jerry Stevens. It's been a minute since we won it all.
Man.
You're the Players Lounge. You buy Tostitos.
Yes, sir.
Barry Church.
Yes, sir.
Heckma Harrison. Danny McCray. They're all wearing the fresh Cowboy gear today after the Cowboys, a couple days after the win.
I'm repping the Star, baby. I'm repping the Star.
The brand new.
Yeah, repping the Star, baby.
Polo. Wow.
This is a Dan Quinn.
That's a sideline edition?
Polo.
That's a sideline.
This is Dan Quinn version. I named it that, okay? So DQ, when you see me in it, bro, just come sign my shirt, bro. Do me a solid.
That's a McCarthy look over there that Heck got on. Yeah. He sported those about 2.
Dewey be sliding on the low one. Dewey be sliding.
You know what?
McCarthy had it like 2 years ago, bro. Because I've got it too.
You know what?
I got it too. I got the house.
You had the DQ.
Yeah. On one hand, he say they got the fresh new gear on. He like, but I had it 2 years ago.
Yeah. You feel
Well, I mean, you had the fresh gear on. Heck, we got something 2 years ago. Church got on the Cowboy golf gear.
Yeah, you know me. I stay with it on.
We repping, man. He got the Kool-Aid.
I got the same
on.
one, man.
Wear yours next time. Next Wednesday, you wear yours next Wednesday.
BC.
I didn't get the memo.
Hey, you trying to slide them? Hey, man, it's all good.
Boy.
It's all good.
Boy, I say boy.
Look.
Okay.
McCarthy out here getting it done right now, man. Everybody wrote him off. The man out here coaching like crazy, man.
He doing his thing. He's doing his thing, man.
So if you
So you saying they finna be selling McCarthy shirts and like with his like jerseys in the pro shop?
No, I just said McCarthy gear. Like that is the shirt McCarthy. I mean,
This is coach's gear. What are you talking about, man? You
so McCarthy got a Belichick sweater now, huh? So he got a look.
That one he did.
Hey, man.
I'm just messing with you.
So literally, this is good stuff because when Bill Priakis was here in the marketing department, he told me how there were certain brands that they had for coaches throughout the league, and that they would ask these coaches to wear them at certain times. So what you have on here, that was across like Matt LaFleur up there in Green Bay, he had that version of it. So they're out there actively trying to put coaches in certain gears to get them on air and to get people to buy them as well, like on air, like when they're showing it on TV and stuff like that. So now, salute to service time when they wear all that.
Oh yeah,
everyone except Belichick. Like Belichick will not wear. We watched this year. Salute to service. Everybody's got on their green military. Belichick won't wear it.
He stayed with that gray cutoff.
he is giving the league the finger, but they are actively trying to do that. And when Wade Phillips was here, he was frustrated a little bit. He's like, Wade just don't look that good in my gear. And then Jason Garrett came in here. Jason looked good in the gear, but it was just
Okay, that's two. That's 2 positives for JG.
JG
from
getting it,
okay,
man.
that's 2 positives for JG. Okay.
Jason Garrett will be a head coach somewhere next year, be it college or in the National Football League. Write that down. Write that down.
Calling that? Okay.
I believe it.
You write that down, right?
That would happen, man. They go to commentate, and you hear them start talking about the game, and then you start remembering like what they did in their successful times, and then all of a sudden they got a job.
Man, why can't Rex get back in there, man? He been in ESPN for a minute now.
Yeah, man.
Maybe he's not making sense at ESPN.
Yeah.
He was saying that's why he don't have a job.
Yeah, no, we can't bring him
He
back.
also is a defensive coach, and we know that those don't, and he had a lot of shots. He had a lot of shots.
I mean, really, does he? What did he do in Buffalo that said, "Hey, man, this guy deserves another shot"? Yeah. After the Jets, he had a little success at the AFC Championship games, beat Belichick in the playoffs, but Buffalo, no.
And they know he bringing Rob with him, so
You want Rob?
That's when the demise actually happened for him too. He brought Rob to Buffalo and let him, and was telling Dennis Thurman, Rob calling defense like, what? So now he just exactly.
You talk about a tough playbook, man.
It's not a winning playbook. Just saying. Washington Commanders coming here on Sunday. Washington Commanders are -4 in the turnover margin, tied for 29th in the National Football League. If you're Dan Quinn, you've got to be eating popcorn, smiling right about now, checking the film, because if you thought you got to Danny Dimes, you getting now as players, Danny, Barry, as players, when you see a guy like Carson on the schedule, your eyes light up at all, think about, hey man, some pick time, some sacks.
Man, listen, I remember the coaches light up too. All right, okay, because you get a guy like at our time, it was kind of the end of the Eli Manning era, right? And you're like, hey man, let me tell you something. Baby. The guy's he's gonna close his eyes when he's about to get hit, and he's gonna let the ball go. All right, and he don't know who he's throwing it to, but we believe it's us. All right, you're gonna go out there and get you one. So these is one of them things. One, if you on your contract year, right, or you're a rookie, you're trying to make your name in the league. Yeah, you're looking for a Carson Wentz game. You're looking for an Eli Manning game. Somebody who has been known to throw the ball to the other team. Jameis Winston. Oh, yeah. Those are the games that you like. Yeah, I can't wait to get in. Hey, man, make sure we stop on first and second, because on third down, we got a chance for a turnover.
Without a doubt, man. I mean, it used to be Eli, and it was also Josh Freeman when he was in Tampa Bay back in the day. Man, we used to lick our I can't wait to get after Josh Freeman. But I tell you, it works both ways now. Because we was licking our chops when Colt McCoy and Washington Redskins came in here, or Washington Commanders, and we was we finna eat on this dude. He's terrible, and he went and threw a party on us out there. So
Monday night,
it works both ways. So I mean, you got to respect your opponent always. But with our front seven that we got right now, I know them boys over there, like, man, they licking their chops, and the secondary back there is like, shoot, the quicker you get to him, the faster he gonna unload that to one of us. So they got to be licking their chops, but you got to respect your opponent as well.
Have we played a 12 o'clock game yet?
That's the first one.
Okay,
yeah, it's the first one.
Okay,
man.
all right.
I don't like them. Man. 12 o'clock. Man.
Listen, let me tell you something. You don't get up on time. All right, you ain't accustomed to having to play them 12 o'clock games like a Detroit team or something, because they play them 12 o'clock games all the time.
Each and every week.
All right, we accustomed to sleeping in,
getting a good meal, might go back to sleep for a little bit.
12 o'clock a little different, man. A little different.
Heck, you gonna be there Sunday at 12?
Oh,
for this one?
Come on now. Yeah.
So what time do you? What time do you leave?
To get there?
Yeah.
I pull right in. So I'm like, I probably leave 10:30.
You park underneath?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what it sounded like. I pull right in. You park underneath the stadium.
Parking.
You know what? I'm glad you're making it their idea. I should be able to just.
You let them know.
Right.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
10:30.
Yeah.
Better than me, man. I try to leave at 9 o'clock hour for a 12 o'clock game.
You gonna be up there on Sunday?
No.
He said, nah, Playboy, I ain't messing with it.
I got to do the 11. I got to do the show at 11 o'clock. Night, so.
Yeah. You got that late night.
Yeah.
But I know you asked the players questions. Can another minor player ask a player question?
The players lounge.
Okay. So check this out. So when it comes down to Carson Wentz in the last game versus the Eagles, I literally watched a human being shapeshift into a dumpster.
The outdoor trash or the little indoor mini joint?
The outdoor.
He was big trash. He was big trash.
I mean, it's really kind of hard for me to understand what's happening with him at this point in his career. Do y'all remember when people were comparing Carson Wentz to or saying that Dak wasn't even Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I remember.
When they were calling him Pennsylvania and all of that. I mean, it seemed like a very long time ago, but it wasn't.
He was having a hell of a year that year.
2017.
Yeah, because they was like he's going to be the MVP and all that stuff, and then Nick Foles take over. But he looked different.
Look, whatever happened, he has, I mean, that little stream of juice that behind the dump truck, that is him. He is that. And it's as bad as it gets when you watch a quarterback that holds on to the ball the way that he does. 43 passes against Philadelphia, 211 yards. I mean, it's just not looking good. He's holding on to the ball way too long. 9 sacks. So when you talk about chomping at the bit and salivating at a matchup, what's the over-under on how many sacks our defense going to have? I mean, that's what we need to be asking.
So based off that, you see he's going to give it away, like Heck saying. If you're a player and you need to get a shot in this game, you take the shot knowing it, man. I can get my stats up this week, man.
You talking about like Schultz? Nah. Listen. But I always say this though, church, do not fall into those traps though, man. How a team performed the previous week sometimes has no correlation to how they're going to perform the next week. We've seen teams go out there and look like straight garbage.
That's
one week, and then come out and play like world beaters the next week, right? Because one, maybe the team that they're playing against saw that film and they didn't show up, and they were like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure I get these turnovers instead of being on my assignment."
Yeah.
Or two, that team just came back with some different type of motivation because they watched that film as well, and they saying that's not us. These people are competitors. They grown men out there and they get paid.
True indeed.
And if they go out there and they watch themselves look embarrassing, then they have some motivation to come out and make sure that they try to make us look bad, right? How do you make yourself feel better? You get a hot Dallas Cowboys team and you play them at home and you beat them. All is right in Washington.
Yeah.
It's Dallas week.
It's Dallas week in Washington. You got to respect it. I mean, defensively, they played decent in that first half against Philly. You know, I'll give them that. They played decent, and for some reason, that Washington front, whatever, the Payne and all them boys, they come to play versus Dallas.
Yes.
And where we know there could be a weak spot is in the middle part of our offensive line. And that's where their two strong points are. The kids from Alabama, I forgot, was it Payne and
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. Those big boys come to play. So, look, you got to respect your opponent. Like you said, you got to respect your opponent. But I'm with you, Heck. I mean, I think these boys going to eat on Wentz, and I don't think it's going to be pretty at all.
But I like what you said, man. It's the 174th meeting between these. I mean, this is a history between. There's a lot of bad blood between the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. So no matter what, it's going to be tough. And you would have thought last week it was going to be tough, but because their offense couldn't get anything going, you kill that defense. As good as they are, you go 3 and out that many times, and to me, those 3 and out start to count as turnovers because you're just putting your defense right back.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that with us last year. It's the same thing we beating on the table for last year, man. If your defense is playing well, help them out. Even if you ain't gonna score no points, run the ball. Give them a break. Let them sit down. Because if you don't, that's when they get a little demoralized. It's like, man, our offense ain't doing nothing. We've been out here all day. We don't have any confidence we're going to score any points. And that's what we need to do to Washington.
And I think this is going to be a big game for Cooper Rush because Philadelphia, they had a lot of success with the running quarterback with Hurts. But you talking about traditional running the ball, that front four, they was pretty stout against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia did most of the damage through the air. And so to me, it's going to be interesting to see if this is a close game. And they shutting down our run. Is Cooper Rush gonna be that guy throwing the football? I hope he is.
Jerry said he got the makeup. Jerry said he has the makeup to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, he did.
Okay, he did. He said he put an emphasis on makeup, but he said he has all the tools to be a top quarterback in the league.
1 + 1
equals 3.
It equals 3.
It's 3.
Hey, man.
My man went from quarterback controversy to this guy might be one of the top in the league.
He has the makeup.
Oh, okay.
No. He has the tools. He's not saying that he is. He said if everything comes together for a guy like Cooper Rush, he has all of the intangibles and the tools to put him at. That's the type of confidence you want to get your backup quarterback, man. When he winning games for you, listen, he ain't lost.
He undefeated.
He ain't lost. All right, if there's any other quarterback going out there doing this, we saying, you know what, man, he might be one.
Could be that guy.
So shout out to Cooper Rush.
You want to get this team in third down too, by the way. Washington this year, third down, first game against Jacksonville, which they should have lost, by the way.
Yeah, they did.
7-10 on third down here. Then the next week 2, Detroit 7-15, and then last week against Philadelphia 6 of 17. They have struggled on third down, and so if you're out there turning the football over and you're struggling on third down, look, Dan Quinn and company should have a day.
Yeah,
defensively, they should have a day. Carson Wentz has not changed, and what you brought up, Heck, here was his career year. I don't care who you are. If you played in the league, you had a career year. If you had more than one. Yeah. 1 year was your best year. Yeah. That was his best year. But for some strange reason, this man gets traded to Washington, and the people want to talk about, he almost won the MVP.
Because you feel like you can make it better. That Washington feel like they can make that old trash new trash. You know what I mean? That's all they're trying to do. They think they can reinvent Carson Wentz. It ain't happened yet.
He went like last year. He was all right for Indy. It was that last game against Jacksonville. I mean, he went 27-7 as far as TD to interceptions. And it was a decent year. Just that last week against Jacksonville, He kind of blew up, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Now, here we are talking about Cooper Rush and having all these things around him. Carson Wentz in Indiana. You're talking about.
He had Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he did.
How blessed can you be with talent around you? You can't get it done, though.
But to the same thought, man, my man Matt Ryan up there stinking it up too now.
Oh, God.
Matty Ice.
So there's something going on in these places, all right? Something going on in these places.
I think if Washington had a choice, would you give it up good picks for Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz? You see, they was trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo first. I mean, this is where they landed, and then that was the thing I trip out on. You gave up good picks for this guy. Oof. He can't play.
You hate to see it.
And this is the second year in a row. They gonna be on draft day like what? That was in the cards. That they gonna wear him out. That went to them. Carson Wentz trade.
They're ready for that too.
Right, but they tried Fitzmagic last year. Okay. He should be okay in Washington. We didn't watch 14 years of Ryan Fitzpatrick. What you make you think year 15 was going to get something done? In Washington, no less. Anyway, one game and he was already got. They keep on trotting out these dudes and they're not even working. They're just not working. And here's Carson Wentz already. You got talent around you. They got some good receivers. Decent little run game.
Yeah, they do.
But he can't get it done. And, oh, by the way, I don't think the coaching there is good either. I don't think they got good coaching.
And rest in peace to my man Haskins. But they took a shot on trying to find a quarterback.
They did.
Yeah. They took a shot and thought they were going to get one, and it didn't work out.
But so Danny, the owner wanted him. Personnel didn't.
And you know how bad that person. Yeah, that's been a cluster F for a minute.
Right.
And the story's already out on how they do talent. From quarterback. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. Either way, I look at like a Taylor Heineke that's sitting behind Carson Wentz, and we just got finished with Danny Dimes. I mean, when we see what he could do as a mobile quarterback, I saw Taylor Heineke at least give you some flashes of a little bit. At least he's mobile enough. This is what Carson Wentz ain't giving him a shot at all.
Remember last year, Heineke on first play, he went after Diggs.
Oh yeah.
I'm going from bad to bad now. I am not saying that. Wait a minute.
No, I'm just saying. Why? When I saw that play, why?
Very first
why?
play.
It wasn't like at this point down there.
He had already racked up a bunch.
Right. It wasn't like it was week 2. Nah, man, you sit up here like, hey man, he gonna be like Reeves and take this thing from you. I'm coming out there testing right away. Bro.
I just want to say this I'm thinking about how bad Carson Wentz is at this point. All right, because I'm looking at. If you get guys, like, it's 3 teams now who will put them in their system and they assume that he was going to be able to be productive, right? And then we watch guys like Geno Smith, Teddy Bridgewater, and Jacoby Brissett get into systems and be able to be productive with those teams.
At least give you a chance.
At least, and you don't feel like you have a shot.
How frustrating that is. Like, that reminds me of, remember when we had Castle in here?
Yes,
no
bro.
Disrespect to Castle.
No,
I like him. I love it
when you say no disrespect.
And
then you
as a person.
As a person, yeah. No disrespect as a person, because he's a good dude. But, man, each and every game in 2015, and Danny, you can attest to this, we went out there thinking, man, if we got to hold this team to 3 points. If they score 1 touchdown, it's over with. We ain't getting nothing. I mean, and that's how frustrating I think they got to believe that this is with Wentz. Because, like, on the defensive side, like, you looking at, if you rest him for a little bit, you looking up and say, oh, that guy's open right there. And you just see him take a sack or throw it to somewhere else where it's an interception. And you just, man, you sit down. As soon as you sit down, punt ready. Punt, get ready. And you just like, man, I just took my helmet off, man. And we back in here. Can I get a drink? Them dudes have got to be feeling it.
The trainer can't even retape your foot.
Man, boys gassed out already, man. Talking about, man, my ankle hurt, man. Somebody else get up in there, man.
All right. Let's get our first break in here.
Man, Matt Castle. That was a bad. That's 2015. That's the first time I was like, man, do I even want to do this? Like, each day I got up out of bed, like, man, is this worth it? Is it worth going into work, man?
This man is still scarred.
Man, I'm telling you, I got up, man. The sun wasn't up. I'm ready to drive all the way to. Man, I'm like, man.
It was a bad season, bro. It was a bad
Every time you came into it was we at Valley Ranch back there. Every time you came into Valley Ranch, you just looked over at his locker, just like he over there chuckling, laughing. I'm just like, man, you You had no chance.
No disrespect.
No chance.
But no disrespect.
But no disrespect, man. Because as a person, you a good dude.
Yeah, but
on that field, though,
man,
let me tell you something.
But I was praying for. Where's Kittner?
Remember they benched Brandon Wheaton for him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And gave him a draft pick.
Well, this man give him a towel, man.
Yeah, because we sitting there, man. Philly, we beat Philly. We 2-0 Romo. I'm like, all right, we got to check. Here come Matt Castle, man.
It was the same thing. It was like, if we just hold on until Romo get back,
we'll be high.
And what we would have paid for a Cooper Rush.
Yes, I'll tell you right now.
Because our defense, we had players on our defense.
Yeah.
I know we got to go to commercial, but we had some guys, and we were like, once they get back, because I think Rolando was out.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy. We were like, once we get all these players together, we'll be all right. But we couldn't even hold on to get that right.
Man.
Let it go, guys.
So it's just fun.
That was my last year in the league. I ain't never letting it go.
Storm is over.
Matt Castle.
He went to the playoffs the next year, so he can let it go. I ain't letting it go.
Matt Castle, dog.
Up next, Zeke and Tony Pollard. We get a repeat performance. We'll talk about that next here on a Bitter Players Lounge presented by Tostitos right here on Dallas Cowboys.
Just dropping back knowing it's going to be incomplete.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, Shave Logic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit shavelogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to shavelogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Are you a Cowboys fan who spices up the game? Nominate yourself for a friend to be the Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. And you could win a trip to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. And nominate yourself or a friend at DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year.
Heck said he's signing up for that.
He's in there.
Oh, for sure.
He's eligible.
That's
He
dope.
already signed up.
You ain't taking out Miss Price, just letting you know.
Well,
Or my man Frenchie, who come with the signs.
This her last year. Did you say that? This was her last year?
That was her last training camp.
Her last training camp. That's
Last
what
training camp. No. Barry Church, Heckma
Yes,
Harrison, Danny McCray. I'm Newey Scruggs. Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos. Remember, we are on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts at. We're there. All right, subscribe, tell a friend about it. Last night, I had college night. Took my kids out to college night, man.
Yeah.
Looking at some schools, hanging on out. And who did I come across?
What's that?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, man. You know what?
Oh, yeah. Some car
I ain't going to forget
stickers.
this New York City side. Toledo
To the Rockets, baby.
Look at this, man.
Rocket man.
We done came to Texas, huh? Hey, man, y'all.
You know why they came all the way out here? Okay, they giving away tuition, okay? Because they got guys not paying their dues, okay? $42 per person adds up, all right?
Barry, come on now. You need to go and pay that.
So Heckma,
come on now.
Heckma, what they did
y'all boys suck.
Is they had the sign that said in-state tuition. So, hustle my children right over there. Hey, hi. I know somebody who went to Toledo who's a Hall of Famer.
Man, that's crazy.
And I said, I need some of this Toledo gear. And you know what?
Got the glass bowl right there.
What I need you to do is sign this for me, Barry Church.
Hey, man.
Sign it for me, man.
Boy, look at that stadium.
Sign it for me, man.
Never that packed.
Boy, look at that stadium.
That's what I say. Only thing missing, if you would
is there a ring of honor?
If you would have walked in there and church would have been right here or something,
man. Hey,
for $42, you can get a block.
Is his name on the end zone?
No, because he won't give it no money.
Wow.
He could if he gave him some money.
Their most famous alumnus.
Man, y'all
Barry Church Field.
Barry Church, yes.
Man.
What first comes to mind when you see that field?
Man, I'll tell you what, I took a pick 6 to the crib against Kansas, ESPN, man. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I ran in that thing freshman year. Freshman All-American, by the way.
How many yards?
It was 80. It was 82 yards.
Okay,
I'll take it to the crib. Man. Hey, I had some speed back then.
I see Phillip Rivers. All right.
Oh, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's what we doing.
I apologize. I had to check
all due respect, we love the Mac. Can you go ahead and autograph that,
I got
sir?
you, man.
I'll get
Look at this.
I'll get my Sharpie over here.
I thought you were going to say that you went to the lady and say, I need all the gear. And this lady's like, man, this guy's really into Toledo.
Oh, no. I was telling about Barry. You
should have got the U up there. Miami that came up.
Make sure it's accurate. That's what I'm talking about. We going to make sure they ain't Photoshop nothing.
Oh, so, yeah. Who they playing there?
Miami. Yeah, the U came up to the glass.
Make sure those fans are real. That's you start seeing Waldo in there.
Photoshop.
This side of the table is too much.
They always throwing something.
That was the only sellout of the year. That's why they grabbed that picture.
Look at this, man.
By the way, air travel from Dallas, Fort Worth to Toledo. They've got it right here on the back.
Oh, they got it on the back.
On the back, yes. It is 4.5 hours. They have 44 students from 44 states, 130 undergraduate degree programs, 13,185 undergrad students, 90 million awarded in scholarships. Student aid is, student to faculty ratio was 20-1. 400 plus student organizations. So,
hey man, did they pay you for this?
You know what, man?
I told them that day, baby.
And only thing they're missing
is Barry Church.
$42. That's he won't join.
That's the difference, right? That's the difference.
But Barry, here's the thing, man. They put you in the Hall of Fame, BC.
They did, man. But I'm gonna tell you else what they did. See, my senior year, I should have been drafted first of all. Senior year, man, they moved me to this star position, which is basically outside linebacker. So all my safety tape, man, and all that went to shreds. So that was the man.
You know, it was a salty episode for you, bro.
I never forgave him for it.
I got an idea. I got an idea. We need Ayanna Van Zant to come in and heal this relationship between you.
I never forgave him for that, man. Never forgave him.
You need to get over that.
Sit Matt Castle down and then sit Toledo down as coaches, and then just let's get that right.
We're gonna work it out.
I got it. I'm just saying his play on the field was, it was the outdoor one. It was the outdoor.
This is the beauty of the players'
Pembroke have a spot there?
I didn't play ball, and we didn't.
No, I'm saying at the college night that you went to.
No.
I might put this in the whip.
Toledo came down.
Toledo came down.
Toledo and the MAC, man. The MAC has. If I'll say this,
I need to get one. Is that a sticker? I need to get one.
I do like this though. This is a nice little
you can have my. Having lived in Ohio, I can tell you those MAC schools are there. There's a bunch of them right there. It's good schools, man.
It was definitely fun. It was definitely a fun experience.
They're good schools, and by the way, Cooper Rush.
Central Michigan.
The MAC.
Chippewas.
That's
Chippewas,
right.
man.
From the MAC. So, they Ben Roethlisberger played in Miami. Byron
Antonio
Leftwich.
Brown. Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He ain't do nothing against me, though.
Kent State.
I'm just keeping it
is
real.
where Nick Saban went. Went to Kent State. So the MAC.
He coached at Toledo, matter of fact.
He was a head coach at Toledo for 1 year.
He came with a stepping stone.
They call it the cradle of coaches, by the way. Yeah. Bo Schembechler was out there. A bunch of great college coaches came through the MAC. So it's a doggone good football league. Yeah. So
DBU of the MAC.
They in and out.
Ezekiel Elliott played in Ohio, but he played Ohio State. Had a nice game on Monday night. Tony Pollard had a nice game on Monday night. Together, this is what you were hoping to see when they had them in training camp and they talked about running the ball more. I think this is the formula, and you touched on it yesterday, Danny. When Dak comes back, stay with this. Run the football. They're managing the game for Cooper Rush. It's working. You've got a defense that is going to allow you to manage a football game, and who cares if you're only scoring 20 points a game? You can sit up here and win these games 20-14, 20-13. Well, the Cowboys giving up 3 touchdowns all year long?
That's it.
Man, I'd stick with this thing when Dak comes back.
Why not? Why not? And listen, I'm going to be positive here, and I want to say I love it, man. I love it.
Okay.
28 carries, 178 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, you cannot argue with that being the way moving forward because 2-0 is working. And I just look back to Dak in 2016 and his rookie year when you leaned on the run game.
Preach.
And everything went based off what happened in the run game. How can you make sure that you get into 3rd and 1 and third and short? You run the ball on first. You run it on second. You make sure you remain creative, but you find a way to get your offense in 3rd and short, and then everything opens up for you.
Y'all out of pocket, man. Y'all out of pocket. I tell y'all what, man. Y'all out of pocket.
But they gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep doing this. If you don't, then that trust that we're building, the trust that we building, you know what I'm saying, with the offensive coordinator, it just goes out the window. I wanna enjoy watching Kellen Moore call plays. These plays, not the rest of them. Or call those as every once in a while plays and just make sure you lean on the
Back him up, Heck. Back him up.
No, I mean, if you saw the interview, when he took the podium to talk about the offense, and I think he answered the questions correctly. He said that, look, we're trying to cultivate an offense around Cooper Rush, but Cooper Rush has been in the system long enough that we don't feel like we're handicapped. So that's saying that he has the playbook is he could call whatever he wants. He feels comfortable, but we know that ain't right. That ain't true. We know if this is bus driver status, but we like it. It looked good. All right. When you could get comfortable with your running game the way that he has, and we've been saying Tony Pollard, get him more involved. You see him getting more motion, and that was an aspect of the offense that we hadn't had. Last season, we went away from the motion. We just went straight up, just throwing all over the place. When Dak does come back, if we can stick to any semblance of this, but also you guys, you're going to have to open your offense up to more formations because as teams get more film on Cooper Rush and see what he's more comfortable with, they're going to start trying to take a lot of those things away. So
you're right. But if Gallup can come back and help, I'm not expecting Michael Gallup to be what he used to be, and we thought maybe it would be the Giants game. I'm expecting it to be the Washington game. Then you've got another weapon to help Cooper Rush out, and just one more piece. But run the ball.
You gotta run the football. I mean, there's nothing really much more I can add to that. You guys laid it out perfectly. We've got to run the football, and my only fear is, like you pointed out earlier, Heck, is when Dak gets back. Are we going to revert back to that? Oh, my toy is back. My guy is back. My $40 million quarterback is back. Let's get back to that, what we've been doing and airing it out. We can do it both ways, but we know it doesn't happen like that. Once he gets back, it's kind of like a Madden playbook. So that's my only concern. But, hopefully Kellen Moore has learned from these past couple of weeks that Cooper Rush has been in at quarterback, that everything doesn't have to revolve around the pass, that you can have a balanced attack and you can set up the pass through the run, which they've been doing with Zeke and Pollard. So that's my only concern is when Dak gets back, are we going to open it up again and be this Madden playbook, or are we going to keep it nice and tight and keep it if the run game evolves? So we'll see. But, keep it with the run. It's working so far.
And I'll say this. We all watch football enough to know this, okay? If a team cannot stop the run, that limits their defense from being able to disguise looks, run any blitzes, do all that, because they have to sell out to stop the run. So if you are able to get in and establish the run game, everything opens up for you. We watching Cleveland, and we watching them line up in 22 personnel because they can't stop the run. You got a one receiver route. Then you see CeeDee Lamb come over here and do pretty much the same thing and will have a touchdown if he catches the ball. This is the things that come off you being able to run the ball.
That's beautiful. And that point of what Cleveland, Stefanski is he's just a dog with the running game. He live and die with the running game. He's not going to give it up. But I just think what you guys are pointing out with Kellen Moore is just less foo-foo, and more with the running game, and then you could balance it out. But then the drawback from all of that is you're paying Dak all this money, and you don't want to limit him and just let him be a $40 million a year bus driver. And that's where the disconnect starts to happen with the media and all of that. So, I mean, I think it's going to open it up when Dak comes back because he's going to have so much more of the playbook to operate. So, I mean, we'll see, but let's foo-foo.
All right, let's take our second break here.
Let's foo-foo.
Let's foo-foo, baby.
I got a negative I'm going to talk about here. I'm just preparing you right now. I'm about to go negative. So with the Cowboys, I got to talk about it, all right? Yesterday was Victory Tuesday. It wasn't the time. But today, I'll keep it real here on Keep It Real Wednesday.
Negative Nui, let's go.
That's right. Positive Heck. Barry Church, Danny McCray, Louis Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Limited tickets for the 2022 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. And AT&T Stadium is going to host the Cowboys and the Commanders, the first ever Cowboy Commander game.
Y'all see it on there. Y'all see it.
It is Toledo versus Central Michigan highlights.
Oh, okay.
But it's first ever. You are, yeah.
Commanders.
All right.
They've never played the Commanders.
Yeah, that's new. First
hey,
butt whooping.
It's a new era.
So do the record start over now?
Got to.
Say we played 100 sometime. Now just 1-1. This is the first time.
Nah, they got to fresh. Nah, they got to keep them whoopings that they got from the past.
You know, that's what they had the first Jacksonville game. The first Commanders win ever. Oh yeah. They pump it up.
They loved it.
How they say it again?
Yeah, and it's Dallas week. And it's Dallas week too. It's Dallas week, guys. It's Dallas week, everybody. Let's get fired up. Going down there. So one of my buddies works for NBC Washington, and he went down to Fort Worth and tried on cowboy boots. The typical story you're gonna send back there. I was like, come on, man, really?
He come all the way down here to try on some cowboy boots.
Yeah, he'll go to Stockyard and put on a cowboy hat. I'm just like,
but they at least like Lucchese's or something.
Well, he was like, should I get the ostrich boots? It was a whole little thing he was doing. It was
Gators.
Like,
don't you step on my boots.
Let's see if you go in that Walmart and see if there's a horse out there. Go do that store. Dude, do you think I'm going to bet there will be a lot of security around the Walmart across the street from AT&T Stadium to make sure a horse does not get back up in that store again.
Man, we saw that guy outside of the stadium before the game, and I couldn't believe when I turned the TV on and saw him in the Walmart. That was nuts. He's out there with his. It is a giant horse, by the way, with a unicorn thing on. That's
People
weird.
Wow, man.
That's weird. It's just strange times we live in.
People don't have no sense. You ain't got no damn sense to ride that thing in there. If people in, you ever been donkey kicked? Hey man, it's all fun and games till something go wrong. I don't want no horse while I'm there. I'm a suit the draws all day. That horse is mine. That's my horse now. Thoroughbred.
I feel bad for the custodian staff who's over at Walmart.
That's why it's not. It looks like it's funny, but the people that are involved, they don't think that's funny at all.
Hell no.
No, that was Big Horse though. It was kind of remember that horse that Charles Barkley rode in.
Was it San Antonio?
No, it was here.
It was here.
It was the Mavs Warriors game when they brought Charles in because they did it from outside the American Airlines Center. And I remembered earlier in the day, my buddy Scott Tom was like, because TNT was asking for stuff. He's like, man, I got him a horse. Like, what else do you want from me?
What do you want?
And I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, they want a horse for Charles. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I got him a horse. And Charles Barkley rode up to the set on a horse and got off. Fans went nuts, man. Fans went nuts. So never know where you're going to see a horse at around here. Here's my negative.
Uh-oh.
It's my negative.
Come on with it.
Cowboys have 23 turnovers. 23 penalties, I should say. 23 penalties this year. You had 8 for 70 against the Giants.
Yeah,
we saw a couple of them that were just drive killers. Sam Williams, like, what are you doing out here with the late hit on the sidelines? Could have got flagged for another one. These are the kind of penalties that eventually it's gonna hurt you from beating a Rams team. It's gonna hurt you from being a Green Bay team. You get too many of these, you could find yourself in a game with the Commanders because you're shooting yourselves in the foot. They're not good enough to have false starts. They're not good enough to give another extra set of downs to anyone in the National Football League. And they're still working on this area. Mike McCarthy has a point of emphasis. It's not fixed. It's not fixed. And there's my negative coming into this game. And obviously, as you guys used to call it, Garrett vision.
You don't want to be on that.
Right. I mean, I don't know how you do. I don't know. How do you fix the penalties, man?
You know what? Now it's a little difficult for him to get fixed, just because it seems like it's what you've been practicing through OTAs, through minicamp, and then through training camp, and you assume that it was fixed. I can guarantee you, going into the season, before they started getting 10 in the preseason and all that stuff, they were like, all right, we good, we all right, and then you realize that it's not, and then it's almost too late, right? So now you're just doing Garrett vision, right? Hey, make sure you don't do this. Make sure you don't do this.
We don't want to do this, right?
Because you got to remember, you only got what? 15-minute individual at this point, and then you have to move on to go into the game script and team action. So you don't have that much time to then go focus a whole practice on the penalties that you got in that week. So now it's up to the players at this point. Hey man, just you got to figure out a way to make sure that you get using the right technique so you don't get those penalties. And like you said, the two you named, lack of focus. Lack of focus. Those are the ones where players got to get on guys and say, hey, bro.
You can't be doing that.
Yeah, bro. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work.
So you want the positive hex spin?
Yeah, man.
I got it.
What you got?
No.
You got one?
Buckle up. No, man. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. But even the Kelvin Joseph face mask when they were on third down that bailed them out, I thought that was petty. You didn't have to do that. And we talk about drops and things that are part of the game. Certain things like that, I think you have to alleviate, whether it be with technique through the week. I love what Dan Quinn said yesterday when in the press conference. He was like, "Look, we recognize in the Bengals game that we can't get those penalties on hitting the quarterback when he's sliding." So that was a point of emphasis through the week. Say that you don't coach it, but then you could talk about not doing certain things like that. And so when Daniel Jones went to slide, you saw Donald Wilson pull up on him and not lay into him. That's just something that we're seeing that could have been another 15 yards. And if it's less and less of it, you're going to have penalties. It's not going to go. You're never going to be error-free in a football game. But I believe as the season goes on, the confidence that you have in your defense, if this offense, the running game like you talked about, we can just negate the negative play, then you can help yourself. This is a second half team. They come out in the first half, then cold, and then they warm up in the second half. they've got to start faster. And if they can start faster, if they can score more points, I think you'll start putting less emphasis on 8 for 70 on your penalty.
Man, I thought our time jumped back to like 2019 when we were saying we start slow. We started slow for about 5 years. My bad, sir. My bad.
Who's the coach?
Who was the offensive coordinator?
Here we go.
Who's the offensive coordinator?
Who's the coach?
Okay. Who's the offensive coordinator? One of them gone and one of them still here. My bad. I'm sorry, church. I didn't mean.
No, you go. You have time for that. It's all good.
No disrespect.
Castle.
What do you think about the penalties, church?
You just got to get rid of the boneheaded ones, man. The ones that, like you said, the Sam Williams, where you're hitting them out of bounds. I could deal with aggression penalties, like judgment penalties. Defensive pass interference, offensive pass interference. That's something that it's up to the ref. If you got good technique, sometimes they're just going to call it. But if it's just the bonehead ones, running out of bounds, you can't hit a quarterback late. If you're hitting a quarterback, you got to know to kind of slide off towards the end. You can't put all your pressure on them and pile on them. Those are the bonehead mistakes, and I feel like those are what the captains, on the team defensively, Tank Lawrence, Parsons, and those guys, they can get after people like that and say, hey, you got to be smarter than that, because that's where the players are really going to listen to. They're not going to come back to the sideline and coach going to say, hey, you got to get that. They're just going to go in one and out the other. But if your peers are saying that to you, it kind of resonates a little bit more. So I think it's up to the leaders to go ahead and nip that in the bud.
How about the refs were trash anyway on Monday?
Oh, man, they missed. Noah Brown got tackled a couple times.
We're just going to point that out.
There's some robberies in New York out there.
I mean, they're 31.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, they learned from Galladay.
All right, we got to head up out of here. Mike McCarthy is speaking at 3 o'clock today. The Cowboys had a walkthrough practice today. It's remember, they played Monday night, so, it's Wednesday practice. So Thursday apparently will be a regular Wednesday practice. They get ready for the Commanders. And by the way, I'm going to leave it like this. Talked to Tyron Smith today. Look good. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, Barry Church, New Scruggs.
He already put it out there.
Players Lounge. Brought to you by Tostitos. Right here on DallasCowboys.com.
He's going to be that mentor.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!